some of these e-bikes and these scooters, and I'm sitting in traffic doing 20, and these guys on bikes and scooters and whatever are just flying past.
Mm-hmm.
They're the guys that I see have accidents, hitting pedestrians that are trying to walk through traffic.
City speed limits could be slashed to just 10 miles an hour to prevent death. That's what the Road Safety Foundation says. A report wants limits placed on roads surrounding schools and hospitals and on roads near major sports and social events. There's also a proposal to limit the speed limit to 20 miles an hour on all single carriage roads, including country roads. Well, joining us now is Grant Davis, who's chairman of the London Cab Drivers Club. Grant, I think I know what you're going to say, but is this a good idea?
I think you have got a good idea, yes. I think it's ridiculous, actually. In London, last year, London was ranked the slowest moving city in Europe, with an average speed of 11.2 miles per hour.
You're breaking the limit there by 1.2 miles an hour if this proposal goes ahead, Grant.
Yeah, and there'll probably be a fine of £100 if you get caught. So it's always about the money. Listen, I work in London, as you know, and around schools, I pick up most afternoons special needs children. And what happens is that they have, from one end of the school road to the other, no vehicles between, say, 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. So when the children are coming out, no vehicles can go down there, which I totally agree with. And so it is very safe at the moment. 20 miles an hour has affected a lot of drivers in London. The mayor brought a 20 mile an hour zone in. He said he was hopeful of a million fines. I know I have taxi driver friends and members of my club, and they're being given 3 points and £100 fine for doing 24 mile an hour in a 20 zone at like 2 o'clock in the morning, where it's just them and the fox on the road.
I mean, that is still breaking the speed limit.
Well, they are, but I mean, I took my test, and thousands of drivers did, when the roads was 30 miles an hour. And it's only that the mayor has brought in his new 20 mile an hour that all of a sudden at 24 I'm illegal now, where before I was 6 miles under the speed limit. You know,
if London moves on other parts of the country as well, not just London, of course, if it moves more slowly, don't taxi drivers make more money?
No, not at all. That's a really old wives' tale about you want to creep along, because I want to get you to where you want to go, get you out and get another job in the back. All that. It's really, and the trouble is in London, right, is because the traffic is so gridlocked, so many roadworks in London. I don't know if you've been in London lately, but you would have seen from your bike or in the back of a cab or a bus, there is so many roads being affected by roadworks. You know, people are creeping along, and people in the back of my cab say, "Excuse me, driver, I've got to get my train at Paddington in half hour. We're going to do it."
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
People make a runner out the back of my cab, not because they don't want to pay the fare, but because they're going to miss their train.
And what do you make of this idea, this proposal that single carriage roads should have a 20 mile an hour speed limit everywhere, not just London, but I mean, even if you're in the twisty roads of Cornwall?
It's absolutely ridiculous.
And how will people in your club react to this? Will you be putting proposals forward? Will you be trying to lobby in some ways? Or is it of the different changes that have happened to you, ULEZ and speed limit changes and so on, do they just sort of happen to you, or do you just have to deal with them? Or do you try to push back in any way?
Well, funny you say that. Yesterday I gave evidence to the Transport Committee at City Hall about the effects of changes that the Mayor and Transport for London have brought into London for taxi drivers, private hire drivers and the like. I mean, we don't pay ULEZ because we have an electric cab at the moment, but it's the speed limit more than anything. We're getting drivers just getting tickets every day. And it's really hard because when you drive a new electric cab, it's quiet. In the old diesel cabs, you could hear the acceleration go. But on the quiet cab, if I've got Times Radio on in my cab and I'm listening to you and I'm driving around, I can go from 23 mile an hour to 24 in a second. and it just takes 1 second of non-concentration, you get flashed. Illegal, yeah? So, that it's really, really hard. And like I said, for a lot of drivers, we passed our test when the roads was 30. And I know you can say, well, that's not the situation now. Get used to it. And we are getting used to it, trying to put limiters on our vehicles. But sometimes, like I said, at 24 mile an hour, and I've got e-bikes flying past me that do up to 40 mile an hour, some of these e-bikes and these scooters, and I'm sitting in traffic doing 20, and these guys on bikes and scooters and whatever are just flying past. They're the guys that I see have accidents, hitting pedestrians that are trying to walk through traffic. You get these guys and girls on these scooters now. They've never been at that sort of speed on that sort of vehicle, and there's no training, and you see them going through the streets of London. It's dangerous. That's really dangerous.
Okay. Thank you, Grant. You can stop the meter now. That is Grant Davis, who's chairman of the London Cab Drivers Club. Thank you for joining us on Times Radio Breakfast.
Do you remember how that policy went down in Wales in 2022? And
well, they had to scrap it, didn't they?
20 miles per hour. It went down really terribly, hugely unpopular. 2/3 of people in Wales objected. So you wonder, the justification for this group, it's the Road Safety Foundation. Effectively, they're saying, look, what we want is vision zero. That's the long-term hope for the elimination of road deaths and serious injuries based on the moral position that no death or serious injury should be considered an acceptable byproduct of mobility.
I don't want anybody to die on the roads at all. I want to be really clear about that. But at the same time, a lot of road deaths are not to do with speed, they're to do with careless driving, and that is a much, much bigger issue, I think, than speed.